All right. So today we're going to dive into something I think we can all relate to. You know that feeling of hesitation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got some excerpts here from this piece called "The Value of Hesitation and Open-Mindedness." And
Interesting title.
yeah, and we're going to kind of try to figure out, why we hesitate. Like, is it always a bad thing?
Yes.
Or could it actually be, helpful in some ways?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, right away, this piece gives us this great word, cherry.
Cherry.
Yeah. Means like being cautious, before you do something. And it really makes you think, like, what makes you hesitate before you say yes to something new?
Yeah. I like that. It's like that pause,
Yeah.
that, let me think about this moment.
Right.
And the piece is saying that that's totally normal, especially when you've got a decision, that needs some thought.
It's like your brain is shifting gears.
Yeah.
Going from that, quick gut reaction to a much more like deliberate way of thinking.
Right.
It's giving your brain that time to really, engage all those different ways of thinking. And what I found interesting is the source doesn't see hesitation as a weakness.
Right.
It frames it as, being thoughtful, taking that time to really consider things.
Okay. But I mean, there's also that thing where it feels like hesitation can slow things down.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even make you miss out on stuff.
Oh, for sure. And the source does say that too. But it all comes down to what's at stake, I mean, deciding on what to watch on TV
Oh, totally.
is way different than, deciding on some huge investment or something. So how much weight that decision carries really changes how valuable that pause is.
Makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about this idea of open-mindedness. The source is saying that hesitation can actually help you become more open-minded. So how does that work?
Well, think of it this way. When you hesitate, it creates space in your mind. Like that pause lets new information come in. Even like different angles you hadn't thought of before. New possibilities. And you're not just jumping to a yes or no right away. So it's like you're less likely to just look for stuff that agrees with what you already think.
So by not saying yes or no, you're giving yourself a chance to see the bigger picture.
Exactly. And this is where the source gets really interesting. It compares our minds to cats.
Okay.
And it says that, like cats, our minds need that freedom to just wander. It helps us navigate decisions and even chaos. Like we can move through it all more easily.
That's a really cool image. And there's that Jules Verne quote about cats being like spirits that could walk on clouds without even making them sag.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be the most like fluid way of thinking ever.
And, if we connect that to like the bigger point here, that wandering of our minds during hesitation, that's where those aha moments come from.
I see what you're saying.
Those times when you're like, oh, I never thought of it that way. That comes from letting our thoughts roam a bit, like those cats on clouds.
I get it. So it's not just about taking your time to decide.
Right.
It's about using that hesitation to make smarter choices and even open your mind to things you might have totally missed otherwise.
Exactly. It's like we're reframing that pause instead seeing it as like a roadblock. We're looking at it as a chance to understand more. And in the end, we're making better decisions.
So this brings up a cool question for all of you listening. Thinking about that whole cat analogy. How could you use that idea of like letting your thoughts wander? Could that lead you to some unexpected insights in your own life? Something to think about the next time you feel yourself pausing before saying yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for hanging out with us on this deep dive.
It's been fun.